Thank you. So in yesterday's lecture, we started a discussion on various types of knowledge representation, techniques in knowledge representation. So in today's session, we will be covering the next technique. Like yesterday, we were discussing about we have discussed about three techniques. One was your logical representation. Fine. Then we discussed about semantic network representation. After that, we discussed about frame representation. Fine. So today we will discuss about production rules representation. Then from this we will discuss about script also and conceptual graph based representation also. Fine. So after that we will be having a small quiz type game as we do earlier also. So let's wind up with these techniques. We will start from here. Just let me share my screen. So from here we have to begin. So the next technique after semantic networks and all is your production rule representation. And when we talk about production rule representation, basically here we are talking about the main things, that is rules. So in this case, like we are saying, if this is done, then this will happen. So a number of statements are there. Based on certain statements, some result is being interpreted. So in this case, when we talk about production rules, we have an agent, knowledge agent. We call them knowledge agent for intelligent agency. So in production rule, the agent will check the condition. This works like this. On one side, we have some condition. Based on certain condition, some results are being performed. So if this is true, this condition is true, then this result will be interpreted. So in the production rule, agent checks for the condition, and if the condition exists, then the production rule will fire in this case and corresponding action is carried out. Fine. So let's have a look at this. So here we say agent basically checks for the condition, and if the condition exists, then the production rule fires and corresponding action is to be carried out. And the condition part of the rule determines which rule may be applied to a problem, whereas the action part carries out the associated problem solving steps. So basically it consists of two parts, condition, and based on those conditions there are certain action parts. So the condition part consists of all the rules. It consists of rules for which the conditions are true, like these are the rules, and based on these rules certain association is being done, certain action will be taken. So action part, here action part carries out the associated problem solving steps. So this complete process is called recognize act cycle. Recognize act cycle means we will recognize the conditions and facts. Based on those conditions some action is being taken from. That's why it is called as recognize act cycle. And this system consists of three major parts. The first part is set of production rules, then we have working memory, and then we have recognize act cycle. So let's have a look at few examples. Here the example says that if there is a condition, that is if condition. So this part is basically condition part, and after then part is basically the action part. So here we can see if at bus stop and bus arrives, means if there is a bus, that bus stops at some place and then a bus arrives, then action get into the bus. Action, what will the action will take place? Suppose the bus comes there, bus reaches and the bus stops over there, then you can board the bus, you can get into the bus. So this is action rule as well as action based on that rule. After that, if we say if one of the bus, if on the bus and paid and empty seat, means now further action. Suppose the bus is there, it has stopped over there and you have paid, you have bought the ticket and there is a seat. What will happen? You will sit down in the bus. Then next condition may be if on bus, you are in a bus, you are unpaid, means you have not paid for the ticket. What you need to do? you have to pay for the charges. You have to buy the ticket. And after that we say, if bus arrives at destination, now from the source point you have bought the ticket, you have done all the rules that are to be performed, and then the bus has reached its destination, then what is need to be done? In that case, you have to get down from the bus. And based on these production rules of knowledge representation, there are few advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are the production rules are expressed in natural language. They are expressed in natural language, and it doesn't exhibit any learning capabilities and doesn't store the result of the problem for the future uses. So the production rules are highly modular and can be easily removed or modified. This is the advantage that you can, production rules are very modular. Highly modular means you can divide the rules into subparts. You can divide the rules into different modules, and they can be easily removed. Any of the module can be easily removed, or any of the module can be independently modified independent of other modules. And during the execution of the program, many rules may be active, and the rule-based production systems are inefficient in this case. After the production rule-based learning, we have script knowledge representation. When we talk about script, what is script in general terms? You can write in the chat box. What do you mean by script? When we talk of script in normal terms, what is script? Write in the chat box. Yes. What is script? I'm waiting for your messages in the chat box. How will you define script? Yes, in normal terms, script क्या होती है बच्चे? A movie may have a script. What is the purpose of that script? Suppose you want to do some act, you are writing you are going to perform something, so that is also a script. So in that terms, what is a script in general terms? Question answer. What else can be there? So basically, script defines what are the various set of activities. Let us consider you are talking about the script of a movie. What is happening in that case? It will tell you what are the various dialogues in that movie, what is the story of that movie, how it is performing, firstly what will happen, then you can say sequence of actions that are to be performed. So sequence of actions define a script, a written document of something which defines certain sequence or certain actions, that is known as script. So similarly, based on that, we are having this knowledge representation technique, that is script knowledge representation. And what comes here in this, we say a script is a knowledge representation structure that is extensively used for describing stereotype sequences of action. So basically, it defines sequences of actions that take place in day-to-day activities. So some such events may be like you are saying, let's consider the example of going to a hotel or restaurant. What is happening in that case? You go to a hotel, after that you eat something and you pay for the bill and then exit from the hotel. This is the complete script written for that. Next is, suppose you want to go for a movie or you are going for a drama to a theater. What will happen in that case? You will be going to the theater, then you will get a ticket for that, you will view the film or drama, whatever it is, and then you will leave the theater. Next is, suppose you are going for shopping to a supermarket. What will happen in that case? So you will go to the supermarket, you will have a list of items with you that are to be purchased. So with the list of items you are going there to be purchased, putting the items needed on a trolley, you will put all the items in a trolley and you will pay for those items. Fine. After that, what will happen? You are leaving for office in a two-wheeler. So what will happen next? You will park the two-wheeler at the railway station. Suppose you will board the train and to the place of the work and then go to the workplace. Fine. Next is, you are going to a bank for withdrawal. You are filling the withdrawal slip or check. you will present it to the cashier, getting the money and then leaving the bank. So this is the complete script which is written for these 5 activities. Suppose we are considering 5 activities. So these script is mentioned for those all the 5 activities. So script knowledge representation consists of these 5 parts. One is your entry condition, then result, props, roles, and then we have scenes. So when we talk about the entry conditions are nothing else. These are just basic conditions that must be fulfilled. So entry conditions are the condition that must be fulfilled. Like suppose you want to appear in the examination. What is the basic condition for that? That you should have an ID card with you. If you don't have your ID card with you, that is a basic requirement. You will not be able to appear in the examination. Or you can say the simple condition is you must have registered for the examination. Only then you can appear in the examination. Then we have result. So when we talk about result, basically the results presents the situation which describe what happens after the script has occurred. It presents the situation which describe what happens after the script has occurred. So actual the output, the result of something. This is known as the result in the script. Then we have props. Props are nothing else. They are just the real world entities, or you can call the objects. If we are representing knowledge of something, then if we are representing knowledge of the objects, whatever the objects are, those objects are known as the props for that. Then we have the various roles. So when we talk about those roles, so those roles are the characters that play is brought under certain slot. So certain slot of actions come under the category of the roles. Next we have some scenes. So when we talk about scenes, these are basically sequence of activities. Just like we say, this movie has these scenes. In this scene, this thing happened. So what is that? That is basically sequence of activities that are described in detail. So that represents the scene in that case. Now this is example table for a script. Let's consider one example table one. This is representing restaurant script. What is happening in this case? Basically, this figure represents a miniature restaurant script with customers going to a restaurant, ordering some eatables, eating them, and paying the due amount, and after that leaving the restaurant. So what is happening in this case? So the script is in this case is going to the restaurant. And props means various objects. When we talk about hotel, but restaurant, but can be the various objects: food, tables, menu card, money. So these can be basically the items and these are objects. These objects are represented as props. And then we have roles. When we talk about roles, there are various roles. Someone may be owner, customer, waiter, or cashier. So these are the various roles that are being performed within the restaurant. Then next we have entry conditions. So entry condition is a person will enter the restaurant only if that person has some money in his pocket and he is really hungry. If the customer is not hungry, then there is no use of entering to the restaurant. And even if he or she is hungry and that person don't have any money with him, then again the entry condition fails. In that case, that customer will not enter. At the same time, the owner of the restaurant should have some food available with him or her in the restaurant. So these are the entry conditions. Next we have results for this. So whenever we are talking about these results is customer has entered the restaurant and has eaten the food. So it means the customer is not hungry now. Owner has more money because the customer has paid money, so owner has money. Customer has less money because the customer has paid for the food, and owner has less food because the food has been spent. So this is results of the result conditions for this miniature. So let's see, the various scenes can be there. So basically we said there are number of parts, props, roles, entry conditions, results, and now we have scenes. So let's have what will be the first scene. So in the first scene, and it will be customer entering to the restaurant. The customer enters the restaurant. He will scan the tables wherever the table is free. He will choose the best one, best suited table for him or her. He decides to sit there, goes there, and then occupies the seat over there. Then scene 2. In the scene 2, we will order the food. Customer asks for menu. Waiter will bring the food. Customer glances it and chooses what to eat. After that, he will order the food. And in the scene 3, what will happen? Customer is eating the food. Waiter brings the food and customer eats it. Then in scene 4, paying the bill. Customer asks for the bill. Waiter brings it. Customer pays for it. Waiter hands the cash to the cashier. Waiter brings the balance amount. Customer tips. The customer can give him tip. Then customer moves out of the restaurant. So this is the complete script for a knowledge representation of a restaurant scene. So in the same case, you can put this type of knowledge as a knowledge base into a robot who is acting for behind this role, automation. So next script is about a classroom. So classroom, let's consider a lecture room. So in this case, what is the main thing activity is tracking the classroom. So what will be the various props means various objects, table, chair, chalkboard, chalk box, lecture stand and a projector. And what are the various roles? Roles will be teacher and students in the classroom. Entry condition for the teacher will be teacher has to prepare the lecture before entering. Teacher has prepared the notes and the class is open. Then teacher has attendance register, that is the entry condition again. Then we have results. So in the results we have teacher has imparted the knowledge, teacher has presented his or her lecture, and student has acquired the knowledge. So these are the results of a script for a classroom. Then advantages of this model is it permits one to identify but scenes must be preceded when event take place, means sequence of events should be defined. It is possible using the scripts to describe each and every event to the minutest details, so enough light is thrown on implicitly various mentioned events. Then next advantage is script provide a natural way of providing a single interpretation from a variety of observation, because this is simply flow of events, so it is very easy to interpret the knowledge from this. And then we have two disadvantages of this. One of the disadvantages is it is difficult to share the knowledge across the script. Script sharing is not possible. One script sharing with the other script is quite difficult task. And in this case, what is happening in one script is true for that script only, but it may be false for the other script. So this is again one of the demerit in this case. And then next disadvantage is scripts are designed to present knowledge in stereotype situations only and hence cannot be generalized. Last but not least, we have conceptual graph for knowledge representation. Last technique is conceptual graph. So when we talk about conceptual graph, basically these are again the simplest graph forms. So in this case, a conceptual graph is a graph representation for logic based on the semantic networks of artificial intelligence, and existential graphs are there. These are simply graphs which are bipartite graphs. It consists of certain nodes and certain arcs are there to connect the nodes. But remember, when we are talking about the conceptual graphs, the arcs that are connecting the nodes are not labeled. We say the arcs connecting the nodes are not labeled. So this is one of the disadvantages of conceptual graph over semantic graphs. When we talk about semantic networks, we have nodes, we have arcs, and we can write the name of the relationship on the arc itself. But when we are talking about the conceptual graphs, we use the arcs to connect the nodes, but on those arcs we don't represent any knowledge on that. So conceptual relation nodes represent the relations between concepts. So a conceptual graph consists of concepts represented by boxes and conceptual relations and are represented by ellipses. So the concept nodes only have arcs to the conceptual relational nodes. Thus the graph is bipartite, and concept nodes represents concrete objects like category, telephone, restaurant, etc. And it can also represent the abstract object like love, beauty and loyalty. In order to represent the relation, we have to use the arity, that is the number of nodes in the relation itself. So we can have an example of this. So this is the example in which types of relationship are there. One-way relationship, one object and one relationship like bird flies. Two-way relationship in which two objects are there and there is a relationship between these two objects like dog's color is brown. So this is two-way relationship. And then three-way relationship, a relationship that is among three different entities, that is child, mother and father. So we say child has parents, mother and father. So this is the relationship between these two entities. Similarly, example 2, it represents objects. In this case, you can see from here, one object is person. That is, we say John is a person. City, Boston. We say Boston is a city. And then there is a one entity, that is go. So how it is represented? This is representing agent and this is representing destination. So here we say person John goes somewhere. Fine. And at the same time we can read it like when he goes somewhere, it will that person will reach his or her destination city, that is Boston in this case. And there are few instructions given over there that the person can go via bus. The person can board a bus or avail the bus facility to reach the Boston city. So this is how the conceptual graph works, and these are basically four major requirements that we discussed in yesterday's lecture also. There are representation requirements are representational accuracy, inferential accuracy, inferential efficiency, acquisitional efficiency. These are the four basic things that we have already discussed before beginning the knowledge representation and KRR, knowledge representation and reasoning. And we have covered all the techniques or you can say types of knowledge representation. So now